Hi, and welcome to this video where we're going to look at how to write not equals in filters within a where statement in a SQL select statement. And it's slightly different to how you might use it in other languages when we're using it in the context of null, for example. And there's a few different ways that we can do it when we're comparing numbers to a particular value. This video is part of a series in which we are going to learn all the basics about SQL. And if you'd like to look at all the rest of the videos, then you can click subscribe and you'll be able to look at the playlist where you can see all the other videos in this series. So let's get started. So to write our select statement, we need to start off by writing the keyword select. So let's say select. And in this case, we're going to select some data from a particular table. So we're going to take it from the product table. So if we scroll down here and look for product, then we can come down to the production.product, and I'm going to drag and drop that in there. And I'm just going to tab that across so that everything's nicely lined up. And I'm going to look at a couple of columns. So I'm going to look at the product ID. And I'm going to put a comma in to go to the next line or the next column. And I also want to bring in the list price. So there's a statement that's going to bring back a product ID. Let's spell that correctly. There we go, product ID. So we're going to bring product ID and list price from the production.product. So now we need to put in our where clause so we can filter the data. And we're going to filter the data based on list price. So let's put in list price here. And in order to use not equals, we use the forward bracket and backwards bracket sign. So we can say, for example, we might want to bring back all records that are not equal to 10. So this is the standard way of doing in SQL. We should use the forward and backwards brackets in order to indicate that we don't want values that are equal to 10. There is another way of doing it. We can also say where list price, we can type not equals in this way. We can use an exclamation mark and equals. So we could say not equals to 10. But the standard ISO way of doing it is to say use the backwards and forwards brackets. Now, when we're looking at null values, we can say, let's get rid of these for a second. Let's say we want to exclude some values from the product line. So we could say product line, and we could say where product line is not null. But in other language where you would use the not equal sign, in SQL we need to physically say is not null. So we say is not in order for it to be not equal to, and we say it is not null. So in this case it would exclude all the records where the product line is not null. So let's execute that and see what we get. So if we add in product line into the query, which might help, and execute that again, we can see that all the values in product line are in fact have something in them, and none of them are null. So to use a not equal sign, we can use the forward and backwards bracket. So we could say where list price, for example, is not equal to something. And when we're working with text values and we want to bring back stuff that is not null, we can say is not null. And I'd recommend using the forward and backwards brackets rather than the exclamation mark and equal sign, as this is the standard transact SQL way that you should write not equals to. Now, this is a short video, but it's part of a series of other videos. So in the next topic, we're going to look at data types and how to convert data from one thing to another. We're also going to go all the way through various different topics in SQL. So if you want to learn more SQL and look at that more in depth, then why not subscribe and look at the playlist. If you want lots of worked examples and to look at advanced topics, then I've also got a complete course in SQL, and I'll put a link in a second in this video. And in addition, I've also got a website, www.padsresearch, that's physics, aviation and data science, and that will have articles related to all of these videos.